You rock, my friends. You Rock podcast is for women like you who want to own your life and live an engaged and joyful life. Hosted by Dr. Aliyah Majid, mom of 3, devoted wife, and a scientist turned life coach on a mission to empower women to take control of their lives. In this podcast, we deliver tools, insights, and inspiration on rocking your own life, owning to your highest potential, and becoming the best version of you. Now, here's your host, Dr. Aliyah Majid.
For those of you who are new here, welcome. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can get the latest update from me. And starting today, I'll be publishing this podcast on a weekly basis. The new episodes will be available every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Malaysian time. Hello guys, welcome back again to this week's podcast episode with your host, Dr. Aliyah Majid. I'm success and productivity coach, and I'm here to help you go after the life of your dream. Okay, in today's episode, we'll be discussing about burnout. And I know lately we might be feeling the burnout issues in your life much more often than used before, because we doesn't have much time needed to ourselves, because we are now locked down and still not being able to pursue 100% of the usual routine that we used to do. But it's okay, it's all gonna be alright, inshallah. And today I'll be sharing with you some of the tips on how do I combat burnout. Actually, today's episode I'll be sharing with you a journal entry that I written on 18th of June 2019. This is back when I was living in Japan in 2019. It is actually the second year of my PhD study. That time I kind of felt, I feel really burnt out during that moment because of studying and so many deadlines, and also trying these new routines with my kids in a foreign country, and it was really hard time for me. So this is what I wrote in that. So just let me share this with you guys first. 18th June 2019, Tuesday. Alhamdulillah, it's a sunny day. From last Sunday, feels really nice sleeping yesterday. I want to aim to sleep earlier, around 9:30 p.m. I want to rest on bed with my eye mask and put on the essential oil. #new habit to break all bad habit. So I want to reduce my eye strain from PC and monitors. My idea is that I would only work on my PC at work when I arrive real early every morning, and then I will only reply to social media after lunch, or I'm going to read on medium.com around the evening only. While commuting back home, I want to read a physical book. Okay, just I want to remind you that this I'm reading while commuting is because I was commuting by train, so it is possible for me to read a physical book while commuting. So let's be clear on that. Okay, I think this would give me a sense of being alive and feel real. I'm trying my best to combat burnout. So yesterday I did some research online about burnout, and here is what I found on the symptoms of burnout. Number 1, emotional exhaustion, feeling exhausted physically and psychologically. Number 2, start seeing people as burden. Number 3, lost ability to focus. So that's what I wrote on my journal, and you might think, why do I share this now? It is because the subject of burnout have been in my life for almost forever, but on 2019 I really make it a priority for me to learn more about burnout and the signals and what what is the symptom and how can we know when to really make it a priority so that we don't let burnout sabotaging us in pursuing whatever we want to pursue. So for me, at that time, my goal is to graduate on time. And for some of you who have been following me for maybe for a couple of months now, you know that I was doing my PhD in Japan from 2018 to earlier this year, and I graduated on time, so it's within 3 years. And during that time, I was also doing a part-time job in the university as a research associate, so meaning that I have these other responsibilities that I have to do inside the university that is totally not linked to the PhD study itself, to the PhD research work itself. So on top of that, I was pregnant with my third son, and also making sure that my two elder son and daughter have the right attention for me, because we are living in a foreign country. So I was burnt out with all of the responsibilities that was given to me. Although I started the journey with a real motivation and inspiration that I really want to finish my PhD on time, I want to really graduate it, learn everything and make sure that I use that time that I have there invested in myself and more learning so that I can achieve more. So what happened is that instead of absorbing as much as I could and learning as much as I could during this moment, I mean, on that particular season in my life, I was really burnt out and I couldn't really absorb anything. I am not fully rested, and what happened is that instead of learning, I am just reacting to the situation, So instead of learning new things, I was not making any progress in it. So I really slowed down a bit after that, and during that time, it was a summer time, so it's kind of a good time for me to take a little bit slower pace in my research work, because during summer the kids have a little bit longer holidays. So I use that time to really think about how can I recharge myself. So as I mentioned just now, the symptoms that I experienced was, the first one is emotional exhaustion. I am really exhausted physically and mentally and psychologically. So I wake up, although I thought I was fully rested, but I woke up and feeling still like a fog, and I feel exhausted and I don't want to do anything some days. So that was one of the symptoms, and this is just tired all the time, and that leads me into thinking that what can I do better? I mean, how can I improve my emotional exhaustion? It's like your emotional tank is being empty, we have to really think about how to recharge that emotional tank that we have. So that's one of it. And the second one is which is the symptom that I, starting from that year, I make it a symptom that is really, when I feel this, I will understand that, okay, I am really feeling burnt out right now. It is why when I start seeing people as a burden. So usually I like to work with people because it is my job, and that's my passion, that's my purpose in this world. I like to educate, I like to have conversations, I like to make connections, people who really want to learn from me. So at that point, I was also a tutor in the classroom, so I give lessons I help the professor on lessons, so that the students could understand better on the classroom, on the courses that I taught. I loved doing that activity, but because of burnout, I started to feel like it was a burden, meaning that even though I loved that job, I loved that that interaction, that educating other people, I start feeling that somehow it's just not working. And when I start seeing people as a burden instead of an interaction that I could pour myself out and give the energy and contributing to them, this is when I feel like, oh no, I discover that is sometimes happening to my kids or even my husband, Of course, I love them so much, but when I started to feel like they are taking too much of my energy and too much time, and this is when I really stop and think about why am I feeling like that, right? So usually it is because I'm just tired, I'm just tired, and meaning that I have to take some steps, some strategy to combat whatever that I was feeling, So I share this after this, but wait for me, there's another symptom that is a signal that I'm experiencing burnout. So the third one is lose ability to focus. Like when usually I can focus on several hours to do the most important task in my work, but when I start losing this ability to focus. For example, I cannot look at my work even for 20 minutes to really focus on that one most important thing that I want to do that day. So usually this is a signal that my mind is wandering, my mind is wanting to solve other things, to engage with other thoughts, even with so many other strategies that I have implemented throughout my life, which is the habits that I have in my life that will usually helps me to improve my focus. It doesn't really give me any improvement if I am feeling this burnout. So even though I time block my day, I make it priority, and I block all the distractions, whether it is external distractions or I'm trying to focus within my internal triggers, meaning that I don't have any internal distractions. I just cannot focus. So why is it happening? So one of the reason is that maybe I'm just burnt out. I'm just needing that break. So I was talking about this also with one of my clients last week about the need for a break. So even though what I'm always sharing is that you have to push yourself so that you can reach your goals, so that you have to engage with your life and go after the life that's your dream. You have to go out from your comfort zone and start achieving the goals that you wanted. This episode is specifically for you who have been taking the actions, have been taking the steps, have been consistently doing all the good things, all the great jobs to go pursue after the life that you want. But sometimes you feel like why is it not working, right? So this is for you, meaning that you may experiencing these symptoms, the emotional exhaustion, feeling that you get like the other person being as a burden for you, and you start losing control. These are the 3 signs for me that, okay, you just need to take a break. Okay, so with that being said, I want to share with you how can I combat the burnout. So the strategy to combat burnout, there are 4 of them that I listed here. The first one is to start with physical improvements in your life. So that is improve sleep, proper nutrition, and exercise. When you are taking the break, you can start by improving your sleep. Maybe you sleep earlier. So remember, just now I share with you that my goal is just to sleep at 9:30 p.m. So it is really important to make sleep a priority. If you don't have enough sleep, if you want to do these great things, but at the end of the day you are not well rested, you are not ready to be totally engaged with the life that you want to go after, so it doesn't make sense. You have to recharge yourself first. So make sleep a priority. Make sure you have 8 hours a day, sleep 8 hours a day. If you cannot do it throughout the night, maybe because you have little kids who wakes up several times at night, maybe you can schedule nap time during the day, so that you can at least get another extra 30 minutes before lunch, or it's up to you, maybe after lunch, to get the extra sleep. So I just want to share with you also, because I have small kids with me. Sometimes my baby wakes up several times at night, because of teething, or sometimes it is just too hot in the room. Sometimes it's just too cold. There are so many external triggers with the kids here. So sometimes baby wakes up several times at night and I couldn't get enough sleep. So when that happens, what I always do is that, for that day, my priority is to also include a 30-minute nap time during the day. So it is possible, because now we are working at home. Or for example, if you are working outside, you can make it possible too. You can sleep on your desk after lunch hour. You have these 30 minutes and you can do it for the sake of yourself. So because you might feel it is weird to sleep and to take a nap on your own desk, but trust me, I did it also. I bought this small pillow. I think it is called like desk pillow. It's just a small pillow that is quite firm. So I used it on a table. On my table, it's actually like replacing our own arms. Usually when we sleep on the table, when we take a nap on the table while sitting up on the chair, so usually we put our arms right on the table. So it's like that the pillow is like actually replacing our arms, and so we put our head on the pillow. So instead of using our arms, we use that small firm pillow, so that we don't have this we don't strain our arms, it doesn't get tired, right? So I bought that when I was pregnant and I was on my 3rd year of PhD. So I bought that small pillows to help me rest a little bit more after lunch, because I was tired, because I was pregnant. So when you are pregnant, you have other kids too, you don't have enough sleep, and this helped me to sneak in some time to just rest a little bit while. So instead of having that whole 1 hour for lunch and prayer, I eat in a shorter amount of time, and then I take a nap, and then I perform my prayer. So use that time wisely. One of the example on how you can improve your sleep, and then readjust what you are eating, and making sure that you put in more nutritious food, vegetables and protein, and lower down on your simple carbs intake, such as breads and white rice. And this really helps me to combat burnout. So maybe some of you have known this also. I adapted a more low carb way of eating. The reason that I started it is not totally because I want to lose weight, but it's more of my way to increase my energy, because at that time I was really tired, and it's not the tiredness that you can just solve by sleeping in and then you'll be settled. No, this is the tiredness that you kind of don't know how you could get better. So I really researched on how can I improve my energy, how can I improve my focus, because I was feeling brain fog all the time at that time. So I researched about that, and I found the keto lifestyle. I found about low carb eating, and I started to implement that into my life, and I really see improvement in my focus on doing my work. I don't have this like energy, the spike of energy. Usually if we eat higher carbs, you eat sweets, and you eat so many high carb food, simple carbs, usually after eating them you will feel like this, you are really energized, but then after several hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours, you feel tired again, and you might starting to feel a little bit hungry, and you start losing focus. And this is when our energy is, after eating, it goes up, it spikes up, and then after a while it just drops really drastically. And every 2 to 3 hours this happens throughout the day. So after I learned about that, I really changed my diet, changed my eating habits. So I reduced eating simple carbs and eat more fats, healthy fats, and fibers, vegetables and proteins. So that really helped me to focus all day long and have the energy, sustainable energy throughout the day. So instead of needing to eat every 2-3 hours, I sometimes eat 2 times a day, sometimes 3, and usually 3, but sometimes I just can skip one meal without even feeling that tired, that sluggish or anything. So that's just the first part. How to combat burnout is I make a proper nutrition, and the third one is improving my exercise. So as I always mention, that you have to move your body. Okay, so even though I'm not the kind of person who naturally is inclined to sweat all day, I make it a habit to move more each day so that I could be energized. I started slow. I started a really small habit in this situation, meaning that because I was feeling really tired, I don't want to 30 minutes every day to work out, because I don't think it's possible, because as I was mentioning, I was feeling really tired. I don't have the energy because I have this all other responsibilities with me, right? So if I were to do that every day, my body is aching from the exercise. So I just don't think that it is something that I would keep up with. So what I did is that I just carve out 15 minutes a day, and I walk outside every day. It starts from 15 minutes, and then I increase to 30 minutes walking outside. And then when that becomes something easy, meaning that I started feeling okay, I can increase more on the activity. So I increase the activity to maybe instead of walking, I do a more intense workout using a YouTube video or running. But I don't usually run because I don't like how it hurts my knees and ankles. So yeah, I start really small with that, but increase my way when it becomes really easy. Okay, so the second strategy to combat burnout is to restructure my work habit. So what this means is that I make some days to work on the things that even though the deadline is further away, I make sure that I make progress on it every week. So sometimes the project that you are working on, maybe it's not due in this week or this month. Sometimes it's due in further in the future. But sometimes this project that you are having, it needs to get your attention in some way. So what I did is that I make sure that I carve some time to make progress on all of the projects that I have, either by brainstorming the ideas or just sit down and researching what I need to get done on that. By tracking the progress, I know that I am on the right track. So maybe even though that is not the priority for that month, I make it a habit that whatever I am doing, the work that I'm doing right now, even though there are some project that is urgent and priority that you need to do right now in this week and today, I make it a priority for me to also carve out some time for the project that needed the deadline is much further in the future. So yeah. And then the third one is which is really important for me, being a rebel at heart, diversifying my life outside the office. So I do things that's fun, and of course that's fun and permissible in Islam. And what I do what I want to do off hours. So meaning that I try new classes, I learn some arts, or I go into the nature, or I diversify whatever things that I feel like I want to do, because we doesn't know which of these activities would really recharge us again. So sometimes I just go walk into there's this huge park that we have nearby our house. It's like 3 kilometers from our house. So I go there and alone, and it have this like a track, a hiking track a little bit, so that I can go there and just recharge and be in the nature and absorb the energy, and sometimes I just walk near to the nearby river that we have at the back of our house. So sometimes I go to a new class that I found online, whatever it may be. Sometimes I try like yoga classes in a different town, so that I could go to that town and experience whatever the differences, whatever they have there. So yeah, diversify the things that you do outside of the office. So that's the third one. And then the fourth one is know when you really need to go away. So it's just the total time off. It is okay to go away. It is okay to take a break. It is okay to say that no, I just want to take a rest for these 2 days, these 3 days, whatever, a week, a month, I don't know. So you can take a break from your work. You can adjust how you go about pursuing your goals. You can take a break for a while. So put that aside. Sometimes this break helps us to recharge and rethink about the vision that we have in our life. So instead of just like mindlessly pursuing, doing whatever things that people ask us to do and being reactive to it, we take a pause and really think about the reaction that we want to provide in each interaction that we have. So whether that brings us closer to the goals that we want, or it's pushing us away from that. Okay, that are the 4 strategies. So remember again, first start with your physical, improve your sleep, proper nutrition and exercise. And then secondly is restructure your work habits. Thirdly is diversify your life outside the office. Fourth is know when you really need to go away. It is all of this is all about looking at your personality. How much into control are you? And do you have a hard time delegating and getting help on things? Sometimes you are feeling burnt out because you are having this hard time to delegate your tasks and really finding helps on things that you know others can perform better. So if you are in control of what you do, you have this opportunity, you have this ability to delegate to others. Try to delegate things that you know others can perform better. It's also helpful for you to envision your perfect work environment, and then take small realistic steps to bring your reality closer to what you're picturing. So if you don't envision what is your perfect work would be, you cannot go there, right? So start by envisioning what is it that you want to have in your work environment, and start to take small step that is realistic, okay, so that you can bring the reality closer to what you are picturing. So the last advice for me is that people can fundamentally love their job and know they are in the right field, but they might be just overworked, and this causing them to burn out and starting to hate their job and not wanting to do that anymore. So in this podcast is invitation for you guys to take that step back and really look at what are you dealing with actually. Identify activities that replenish your energy and focus on those activities in your off hours. And remember that it must be something that you want to do and not something that you think you should do. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. And remember guys, start your day with an intention, make time for your most important thing, and live your life with passion. These days, distractions and interruptions are everywhere, and we lost focus on what matters to us most. I mean, there's always another text or DM or email or group chat or social media platform that you're supposed to be on 24/7. What if there was a smarter, better way for you to start each day feeling energized and focused? What if you could double or triple your creative output by working less hours and never burning out? Well, now you can by joining me on my brand new one-on-one success and productivity coaching program that infuses intentional goal settings and purposeful productivity so that you can work less, stress less, and never burning out again. Click the link on the show notes below to book a free consultation with me. It's at draliahmajid.com/coaching. It's draliahmajid.com/coaching. Or if you want to get started with goal setting, you can download your free copy of the life audit assessment at draliahmajid.com/life audit, or you can see the show notes below for the links. I see you there. Assalamualaikum.